Hello, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. In our last episode, we made some changes to the rocket. We added in the solid fuel thruster to boost the distance the rocket can reach, and also to boost the payload that it can carry, and that payload includes this cargo bay. While Calidorn was gone on the rocket, as you can see he's back already, I moved this liquid valve down because it started breaking again, and basically did the same as I did up here. And I also finished swapping out all of this automation that's in this column or to the left with iron base or anything that touches that even. So I think I did this NOT gate, and I think I might have done this whole wire just because. But I changed out all that to iron. That way it doesn't melt at as cool of a temperature. It's still not probably perfect, but that's about as good as you can get without going all the way into steel. And I really don't want to spend steel on automation if I don't have to. Automation wire if I don't have to. And actually steel might not melt. Yeah, it does. Never mind. So this is working well. We have visited this for the final time we needed to here. And we already did all of this one as well. The next distance of 20,000 kilometers is a bit harder to reach. We can't reach it with cargo bays. We can reach it with a booster and one or a few research modules in the rocket, but I also want to continue gathering some of these items, especially the fullerene and the iso resin, and diamond doesn't hurt either. So if we compare the values of these two asteroids, these two carbon asteroids, the refined carbon and the coal, I'm not worried about at all. We have plenty of both of those because if we have plenty of coal, you have plenty of refined carbon, and we have plenty of coal. The diamond, there's a little bit more diamond here, but a little less iso resin. And then the fullerene's a trace amount. I would rather get slightly less diamond and more iso resin right now because we actually do have a decent supply of diamond here because this world has geodes, and the geodes contain diamond, and of course there's always the sort of naturally or commonly occurring diamond in the oil biome. So I don't want to, I would rather get the iso resin, the 3% more iso resin, than get the 4% more diamond. And it also, I guess, is also a cost to us or whatever in the refined carbon a little bit, but I don't care about the refined carbon that much. So, so when you bring back a rocket with a cargo bay, the cargo bay brings back 1,000 kilograms of a solid object. Whatever the solid object is, it brings back 1,000 kilograms of it. Now, I'm not sure what the ratio is if you have solid and gaseous materials on a destination, but if it's all solid materials, it will evenly divide those materials into the percentages that we can see here on the star map. So in the trip that Calidorn just took, he should have brought back 30% of 1,000 kilograms of refined carbon, 27% coal, 32% diamond, a trace amount of fullerene, which is usually less than 1% or around 1%, and 10% iso resin. So we can actually check that. By the way, the conveyor rail here automatically unloads everything and just dumps it out here. I just put it on this side just for slightly shorter trip. If we look at this tile right here where all this stuff just dropped to, we have 100 kilograms of iso resin. Remember, that was 10%. 10% of 1,000 is 100, so it's just over 10%, but it probably rounded off to 10%, or it shows that it's rounded off to 10%. The fullerene, we have 1.6 kilograms of 1,600 grams of fullerene, so that's, well, that's a 1/10 of a percent, or between 1/10 and 2/10 of a percent. We have 300 kilograms of refined carbon, and that was 30%. We have 316.5 kilograms of diamond, that was 32%, so that rounds up. And we have 274.7 kilograms of coal, which shows at 27%, and I think that's what it was. Yeah, 27% of coal. So, as you can see, if the numbers aren't, the numbers are probably rounded off on the star map, and this is the actual composition of that. So every time someone visits that rock, they'll come back with pretty much those same exact numbers every time, if not the exact same numbers. And we'll start using the fullerene and the iso resin pretty soon, because we can use those to make some space age materials. Since we're going to space, it can make sense. But I want to visit that rock a few more times, like many more times, because we need more of both of those products. So we're going to continue using this rocket as is for running back and forth to that asteroid. I could take the research module out, but taking the research module out only saves me like 100 kilograms or something like that of steam in the rocket. And every time the research module goes, I always get that 10 whatever data bank, that 10 research that drops down here in the bottom when they get back. So for 100 kilograms of steam, I think it's worth it to keep taking the research module. So you can take it out if you want, but you might as well leave it in there to keep getting that research. A steam engine and a solid fuel thruster cannot get 2 cargo bays to 10,000 kilometers. No way, not possible. So you only can have 1 cargo bay anyway, so you might as well keep that research module in there just for giggles, I guess. And a solid fuel thruster in no configuration, or in a configuration with 1 to, I think it's like 5 or 6 maybe, research modules can get a rocket to 20,000 kilometers. So the idea may be here to either at some point delete this cargo bay, put a research module in its place, and start visiting the stuff at 20,000, which are oilies, which have solid, liquid, something, anyway, or a bunch of solids probably here on the metallic asteroid. We'll start visiting these at some point, but really at this point, I need these 2 items down here a lot. So the other option would be to build a second rocket. However, in order to build a second rocket, I think I would want to figure out a different configuration for the robo miner, the position of the rocket, and everything else, so that this doesn't become a mess. And I'm not sure how exactly I want to handle having even a permanent rocket here, let alone multiple rockets, because I probably would want 2 or 3 at some point, 2 or 3 rocket silos. And also at some point we need to take this whole thing and drop it down a ways, because we need to be able to fit more than 5 rocket modules in here. At some point we're going to want, when we get to like the petroleum rocket, we're going to want the petroleum engine, we're going to want up to 3 petroleum tanks, and an oxidizer tank, which we don't even see yet. Well, we don't see any of the petroleum stuff yet. And we're going to want to then obviously have research modules and or cargo bays stacked on top of it. And then, of course, the command capsule. So you could have 10 or even 12 modules in your rocket. So you're going to want to dig down, well into the, not into your base, but into the, down into the sort of the, not in space, the not space exposed areas of the map, in order to build a sufficiently tall rocket. So at that point, we need to deal with this and figure out how we're going to deal with it. So I don't know how I'm going to deal with that yet, and we have time to worry about it because I still want to continue launching this rocket into or to those initial few places. So let's send someone else. Let's send Pedro this time. Maybe he'll get here before. Oh, actually, we can't. Let's not bother sending Pedro. We're still pumping steam into the rocket because I was talking while it was on pause, and we weren't getting any steam into there. So let's go ahead and do that. Hopefully Pedro didn't continue coming. He's still coming. All right. Well, when he gets here, I'll kick him out again. Oh, he went back. Okay, good. He went to go to sleep. So in the morning, this rocket should be full. This engine, rather, should be full. And we can start heading off to space. The rocket can handle, I think it can hold 900 kilograms of whatever its fuel is. Or I guess, can I hold 900 kilograms of steam? We're obviously only using 647 here. But the cargo modules, or cargo bays rather, are just too heavy to push any more than 1 with the steam engine and the booster. we wait? I guess I can go ahead and assign Pedro now. So we have a few people that we can send into space. I know I gave Jessica the ability to go here, but I don't know that I want her to, because she's the only person currently doing the ranging. And unless I can assign, well, Phasian can do it. Let's look at who else has a affinity for it. Anybody else besides Phasian? Did I miss anybody? No, I didn't miss anybody. Okay. So Phasian has affinity, and I assigned it to him, so it might be a good idea for him to start doing it. And it might be a good idea for us to start pulling in more dupes that have that skill if we see them. Not that you can't put the skill on someone else, but it's a good idea to... Okay, here comes Pedro. It's a good idea to do it. To get more people, especially for what I have planned in the very near future. We're almost there. And so the gantries didn't retract because we don't have enough fuel to reach the destination yet. So that's a really cool automation set, that checklist. Yeah. When I read it, when I do this next time, I'm going to make enough to put 2 pumps in here. So that I can hook this up, or so I can fill the rocket twice as fast. It just makes good sense, I think. And once we get to the petroleum rocket, this won't be as big of a deal. The steam rocket is meant to be slow and beginner, I guess. Since it can literally only go 20,000, and that's only with research modules, it's kind of what it is. But this design, I'm loving that I figured this out correctly, or well, or I hope well. All right, we are just about there. Okay, shut that off, and a few blobs will come back. As you saw, as soon as it hit full fuel, those gantries retracted. And also, this is green now. So these doors will stay open now that this rocket is ready to go with its pilot and everything in it until we launch. And so we launch. Our liquid valves are overheating elsewhere on the ceiling here yet. I need to fix those, but I didn't have time. It's still breaking the iron wire. Dang. It only broke this one piece, though? That seems suspect, like maybe I goofed it up. Well, it is 800 degrees. I may have to make these out of steel. That's disappointing if I do, but I may have to. Alright, so it's gone. This light turned red again, so now these doors can close if they need to. And now we can go and work on other things. So I did not do any more expansion with solar panels. Our power right now is... Well, actually, I'm not sure what the power is. And I don't know if you can tell what the power is. Not that. What am I thinking of? Recycle report. That's what I wanted. Does it tell us how much power? Power usage. Okay, we created 4,500 kilojoules of power, and we used 3,200. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So, how close we are to what we're creating versus what we're removing, although, as you can see, most of our power was created either via solar panels or steam turbines, and all the steam turbines, of course, are the ones that are deleting heat. We had that damage before? Oh yeah, we did. I remember having it before. So our solar panels are providing right now almost half, by about 40%. This is mental math here, so don't check my numbers exactly, but about 40% of our power from the solar panels we have, and we can definitely build more. And our steam turbines are providing about a third, and then we have the hydrogen generators are running and the natural gas generators are running. Some each. And we're not even getting to the coal power we have set up, so that's really good. And the natural gas generators are barely running. In fact, do I want the hydrogen... Oh wait, the hydrogen generators is probably including these. Actually, it might even be only those. Because I think... wait, do I not have batteries on these guys? Do these guys run all the time? Automation? Yeah, they do. Oops. I never put batteries on these to control them. So they're running whenever there's hydrogen to run off of. Whenever there's enough pressure in here. Whenever this lets them go. So I really should probably put a couple of smart batteries in, like here, and wire that in. And I'll do that after, after the episode. We don't need to waste time on that right now. But what I do want to do here is I want to continue expanding, or improving rather, the inner base, or various parts of the base, not necessarily just the inner base. Agriculture, I would rather have ranching at this point. I'll take the seed, sure. Although I'm going to not keep taking the seeds for very much longer. Let's, we need to make some more bedrooms. And where do I want to make those bedrooms at? I don't want to make them down here for obvious reasons. I could make them up here once I move this out of the base. We still have 550,000 kcals of bristleberry. We could do that. I could also start deleting some more. Oh, wow, this is... Oh, wow. This is really working. We are removing a lot of water now. Let's take a look at this. I didn't realize this was working so well. So we're pulling the polluted water out of here, of course. I'm going to have to put a stop to this pump at some point. But we're pulling the polluted water out of here, of course. And it's getting filtered or whatever, sieved. And then it's getting decontaminated here, as we set up several episodes ago. And then that water's getting dropped into here. If and when this ever stops, and I'm going to have to put a hydro sensor to keep this thing from draining this tank completely. If and when this... Actually, it should probably stop right about where it's at right now. Yeah, it should probably about stop where it's at because of the feeder here and stuff. And we're only getting a little bit from here now because we've used so much of this polluted water already. Wow. How's the heat? Oh, that's so much nicer. Now that's kind of cool. There's a lot of heat over here still, but that's because the cold water that's dripping in here right now is staying on this side, kind of. Okay, back to what I was doing. So I'm going to have to put a hydro sensor in to stop this. Let's go ahead and just do that now, and we'll put it actually right below the other one. And I'll put this as copper. We'll do that. And I want this pump to stop whenever this sensor here is... What's our water at? Like 700. If this sensor drops below like 500. So it needs to send a green signal, excuse me, sorry, when it's above 500 kilos. And this one sends a green signal when it's below 500 kilos. So basically that should keep the water roughly between these two tiles, which is what I want. I don't want this thing to keep draining till this thing goes dry. Because I do want to have the pool for the pacu. Do they all eventually? I have no idea. We still have this open. Either they died and we ate them, or they eventually flopped their way out of here, but we should put that tile back in so that becomes a room again. Okay, back to the bedrooms. And back to what I was thinking about. What was I thinking about? Ah, yes, I was thinking about deleting some of this carbon dioxide here. I don't necessarily want to delete it all. Where are we at with temperature, by the way? But maybe I could delete it down to there's just a bit down here at the bottom. So let's do a... was that oxygen? Yes, carbon skimmer. And I'll put one... Maybe I'll just do one. I'll put one here, but kind of near to the center. That needs to take in clean water, and it's going to output polluted water. Now, the polluted water it outputs, I think I can just run that up to here. And in fact, I want this to be broken, and I want to put in a bridge right here. And we need to set this up too. Well, what this is going to do, we need power as well. So let me put in... What are you doing? You're taking natural gas. Okay, well, I think that's done. What's all here? That power... Actually, that power can stay. Gas... That's not the gas overlay. That's the gas overlay. Okay, and then this can deconstruct as well. And then that automation... deconstruct as well. Okay, and then I want to put in, once that's gone, no, let's just do a big one at this point in my life. There we go. What did you make that out of? Copper. Good. And you can be copper as well. Although I could be a little bit fancy here and spend some lead. And then reconnect it down here with copper. It's kind of pointless, I suppose. The only advantage is... Although that's not really an advantage. The only advantage is... that the copper is where it can boost them, and the lead is where it's not going to boost them. Their happiness, that is. Okay, so that got done. Let's look at this. This just needs to be hooked up with power. And all it does is they dump slime in it, and it spits out algae. It spits out polluted water and, of course, heat. And with it being in a chlorine room means that if there's any slime lung in it, which there's not, but if there were, it would kill the germs in it. So let's, how much water or power? Yeah. Let's just hook that up to power. I meant to do this episodes ago and never did. And they'll just keep bringing slime in here and it'll be fine. The other thing we could do is turn on our telescope again and scan. Oh, we got another oxidized planetoid. And again, it's rust, carbon dioxide, and a couple of mystery materials. Let's keep scanning. Not that we're not way ahead of the game here, but it doesn't hurt, I suppose. And this will delete all... Yeah, we definitely want the carbon dioxide down below this level because these guys probably... Can they breathe? They probably can breathe carbon dioxide. They don't care. They live in hydrogen and chlorine and everything else, so they're probably fine. But I would like to have maybe just this bottom thing being carbon dioxide. All right, so they should do that. Oh, the other thing we can build here is while we're waiting, because I want to build some more bedrooms, but I want to build them like down here or something. So I'm waiting until we have the space to build the bedrooms before I build them because I don't want somebody occupying the beds. And I want to leave this tile or this room open here, I think, for more recreation. Or I could just put it, let's just put it in there. Forget it. We'll build another bedroom right here. There and there. There and there. Delete. Oh, and delete. There and there. And we have like 26,000 kilos of diamonds, so we're kind of doing okay there. I can make this into the other rec room where I build the, I'm going to do it a little bit differently, but where I build the thing. What's it called? Actually, can I? I kind of can't. I'll have to figure out where I do that other rec room. Maybe I'll do that down here and I'll leave this as a bedroom. I need to run a different power circuit for the, doggone memory. Brain. I can't remember what it's called. Let's look. Furniture. Oh, the arcade cabinet. It needs 1.2 kilowatts, so it needs to be on a different tier so I don't have to do anything crazy with power. Because this one's already basically full. More than basically full. Oh, those eggs hatched. Dang it. Do we have any room for them here? We have 2 and 2. Okay, let's wrangle those 3 guys. And we'll stuff them into their rooms there. So this is working. It's sucking in carbon dioxide. It'll take a while. We'll get to it eventually, and it'll be fine. Ah, rocket time. Okay, so these doors are closing, but I just told them to open again. Wait a minute, why'd you just go red? Oh, because it couldn't scan. Okay, and now it just scanned again. Because the door's open so that it could scan. Okay. It works. It's a little bit wonky, but it works. I could potentially put like a buffer gate in here. Is it a buffer gate? I always have to look at which one's which. Yeah, a buffer gate in here. Just to keep this active when if that sort of situation happens, but it looks like it worked okay. So Pedro's landing. As soon as the rocket shuts off, the automation toggles. These doors can start closing. Pedro goes running for the bathroom. And everything starts unloading here. So let's take a look. We have coal, diamond, isoresin, refined carbon, fullerene. We have everything in here. And although it's already started unloading, we can't see the numbers exactly. You can see that if you add these up and you kind of round up a little bit for what's already here in the belt. Actually, you have to round up a lot because there's 20 kilograms times like 20 or 30 tiles. You end up with still 1,000 kilograms. Yeah, well, we got one through. That's pretty good, though. And that'll repair immediately and automatically, or is already set to repair, I should say. And look, the rocket's already empty. It empties fast. And if we add up all those numbers again, though, we should, because we haven't used any of it yet, we should get 2,000. But I'm not going to do it. Okay, back to home. And let's see, we did... Let's do a mirth leaf and a joyous seed. That's right, I wasn't going to keep this as a bedroom because of this extra heat that's here, but I could... This is still sandstone? No wonder there's heat. Let's fix that. Igneous. Oh my. This is all igneous, I hope. Nope. Some of it is. If I replace these now, they will leak like a sieve. But I can do those few. I don't know how those two got to be igneous and the rest of it's sandstone, but they'll fix those. That's good. This is still chugging away. That's good too. And we have printables. Oh, the other thing I should do... Oh, lime. I will take the lime. Is turn the rocket fuel back on. I always forget that. And good. Who's in there? Lana? Yeah, there's Lana. Was studying the planetarium data. And the algae distiller is distilling algae. Excellent. And that is going into here, mixing with what's coming out of the carbon skimmer and coming into our storage here. And this is going to pull out faster than that can possibly come in, so we're okay there. Now, what I was going to do before I got distracted again is set up the gas range. I've been meaning to do this now for, like, I don't know, many episodes. What do we have for power in this circuit? How much power did this thing take? 240? Okay, we're still good here. Because we still have, yeah, we're only at a little over 500, so we're okay here. So you can do that, gas range, and then we need to bring in probably an insulated gas pipe from here. Well, from here... Hopping over this. And then we need to get it into here. So maybe we go... Yuck. Up here. Okay, I'm going to go this way. Up here. Jag over here. go into here and then into there. And we'll let them work on that too. And that'll improve, or that'll give us ability to make mushroom wraps, for example. We don't have very much lettuce. We can start growing it though with our fried mushrooms. So it'll take the fried mushrooms, which have a quality of 1, mix them with lettuce that we're not eating because I have turned off here in the consumables. Lettuce is right there. We're not eating to a 4. We can also make stuffed berry, which is crystal berry plus pinch of peppermint. If we find some seeds and start growing pinch of peppermint at least. Surf and turf is barbecue plus cooked fish. That's a 4. And barbecue and cooked fish are both 3, so that's not that big of an improvement. Well, wait a minute. 5,600 calories becomes 6,000, so there's a little bit of an increase in the quantity then too. Pepper bread requires pinch of peppermint, spiced tofu requires pinch of peppermint, and frost burger requires frost buns. Frost buns are made... Where are frost buns made? Did I miss them? Frost bun. Frost bun. I don't know where frost buns are made. Am I being blind? Well, wherever frost buns are made, doesn't say where it's made either. I have no memory of where this is made, or no idea where this is made. Micro musher? No. Electric grill? No. Gas range? Apparently not. Unless I have to discover the sleet wheat first. Because we haven't discovered any sleet wheat either, I don't think. Let's go into screenshot mode. Because we don't have any... We don't actually have any frost, or any frozen... Any... whatever, ice biomes, I guess is what they would be called. On this map. Because it's already a whole ice biome. With the exception of down here, but I don't see any sleet wheat growing down here. So we'll have to get that stuff from space, I guess. Unfortunately. Start working on these some more. Get those out. That one out. More of those out. A couple of those go. Home. Okay, so these beds now, we have 5 beds free, so let's delete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And whether they delete them first or not, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to replace this room with beds. The other thing I can do here is I can make this igneous and this igneous. Although this one's less necessary, so maybe I won't. And that'll try and keep some of the heat out from leaking in this way as well. So that's not a bad idea. Yeah, they went back into their same beds. That's alright. They won't move until I delete them. So we have 17 dupes. We have 9, 12, 15, 16, 17 right now. I'll just make this into a 3. That'll make us 18 dupes beds. And that'll be... We can bring in one more dupe. Maybe somebody will find somebody with some husbandry skill. Wake up. Alright. Here and here. There and here. There and there. There and there. So I think for this, the one that I'm going to make the most... I guess I could make the surf and turf. If I wanted to do that, then, well, we need a lot more of the barbecue and the fish fillets, which we're just getting the fish fillets when we can, the barbecue when we can. We'll get a lot more meat sometime soon, but if we can convert it into barbecue, then I should do it. And also for the mushroom wraps, we should just go ahead and do that too. And I'm going to have to look at and see if I can make... See if I have any seeds for... pinch of pepper nut. Yeah, I do have 14. So we should probably set up a farm for those. And the lettuce as well. I know we have lettuce from somewhere. Maybe we don't have any seeds, but we have the lettuce. Unless I'm just not noticing it. Meal with nosh bean. Buddy butter. Yeah. I'm not seeing it, but we could do that as well. From waterweed. Yeah, so we don't have any waterweed seeds, but we could. We could easily have some waterweed seeds. I'm sure there's some waterweed around here somewhere. If not, we can always get that from space too, I suppose. Oh, there's some meat over here. Yeah, we should be able to get waterweed seed. Here's a waterweed seed right here, for example. So there is some waterweed available, waterweed seeds available. We just need to get to them here in these pink biomes, in the sand or whatever it is biomes. Yeah, sand. I guess we'll call it sand biome. Pink biome. So we could start a farm with those too. And those just require, I think, salt water to grow. Salt water, or brine as an atmosphere, which that's kind of a fun thing. Saltwater irrigation and bleach dome fertilization. So yeah, so we'll just have to set those up. And we have plenty of salt water here, as you can see. So these I will make into Buddy Bud. And this one is not done yet. And we're still building this pipe, which is fine. Take them a bit to build. But I think that's probably a good thing to stop at, except maybe... Uh-oh. Yeah, that's a risk because I don't have this perfectly protected. Let's go ahead and send someone else into space here. Sydney. Wait a minute. Oh, it's because it's entombed. It can't read it. Well, the door's just closed, so we'll do that when we come back in the next episode. So, thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.